Hi, I'm Bonnie, Log Cabin Stitcher. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my sewing room. You can follow me on Instagram at Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher. And I am going to be breaking this video up into two parts. This will be FlossTube number 8, part 1. And then tomorrow I'm going to do FlossTube number 8, part 2, because I can already see I have a huge pile set before me. And one thing I had really wanted to do was show you a peek at this part of my sewing room. And I'm going to show you some things that I'm changing out. I've had questions about some of the things behind me, and I just thought, since my FlossTube number, or no, it was quilting number 8, quilting number 7. It was quilting number 7 that I did a peek of my sewing room, and it is the spot that I have over here. And it was just so fun for people to see a close-up of what I was doing over there, what I look at while I'm stitching, how I have things organized. And it was really good that I did that video, what was it, a week or two ago, because I didn't realize when I did Christmas decorating this weekend, that big box that I had some of my quilt pattern books in on my dresser is actually part of my Christmas decorations that I have in my fireplace. So that was good that I did that. And then another box that I generally have beside my couch with my stuff on there was another part of my Christmas decoration. So I had to take those things out, and now I have them stacked over here behind me. So I want to make sure I get that done, and then I can turn my room back to normal. So we're just going to dive in, see how far I get. I want to make sure I don't get knocked off by my iPad saying that I'm out of storage, because I just don't have the patience for that. And it is so neat. I was just sharing some of my technical difficulties, because one of my quilt videos is still in timeout. I will get to it. I think that was quilting number 6 is kind of on hold in lockdown right now. Rocio from Cocohama Stitching is going to help me figure that out, get that off of iMovie and up. But I am not a techie person, and I just finished the 2 busiest weeks of my whole year with my work right before Thanksgiving. So I just want to stitch. And then I've been decorating for Christmas. We did Thanksgiving, had the kids over. So I will get to that. And I went Rocio, so sweet to help me with that. So here we go. Make sure it is still doing the video. Yes. Now, Kim at the Contented Stitcher and I are hosting a stitch along, and it is called Friends of the Heart, or the pattern is Friends of the Heart by Plum Street Samplers, but our hashtag is our Friends of the Heart, SAL. And my start was going to be on Thanksgiving. I got started a day late because my kids had all kinds of work schedules that we had to work around. We were going to do Friday with them, and then I was going to stitch by myself, and my husband and I were just going to spend Thanksgiving alone, and then it switched around. So Friday was my quiet day. So this is my start. Is that? Yes. This is my start, all wrinkly, but this is the way it is. I had so much fun on that vine. I had someone comment, or I read someone's comment, and I think they said that that was just like, the vine was just kind of not their favorite part. But I found, maybe it's just me as a gardener, but I found the rhythm of that very fun. And oh my gosh, I love those colors. The color for this was supposed to be Cinnabar, and it was way too pink, so I switched it over to Weeks Pecan. So that is what I'm doing. And if you guys have been following me from the beginning, I think my first video was 2 months ago, September, October, November, December. No, 3 months ago. I started out saying that I loved seeing everybody's thread drops, but I didn't think that's the way I wanted to go, because I have my floss organization wheel, and that's in another one of my videos. And I liked that, and I didn't want to have all my flosses together. So then I did floss wads, and that became a mess. So I am, here's my little pitiful thread drops. They are little tiny bits of thread. They're not the whole section, except actually Oscar is just about done. But they are not as neat and tidy as I was hoping to have them. So I'm working on them. I've been loving seeing different people and how they do their thread drops, and I'm going to share a little bit about how I'm changing over at the end. But I just wanted to share, I am beginning to do some thread drops, and I'm making my own tags, and that's what I'm going to share about, because I went to Michael's and got some stuff. But that is my stitch along. So anyone that wants to join us, very casual. I started on Thanksgiving. Kim is already going. If you've already started it and just want to get some more oomph to get it going, join in with us. If you're not on Instagram, just comment here and let us know that you're doing it. But Instagram is fun. You can have a private account. You don't have to have it open to the world, yet you can be a part of different things by joining in. So if you want to join with us, we would love to. Kim on Instagram is kgoldman63 on Instagram. So join in with us. We would love to have you and just have some fun in that. Now, the other stitch along that I'm doing, I'm hosting it, and it's Joy Nevertheless SAL. One thing that I love sharing is how my mom and I had just the idea of joy nevertheless, even though life got very hard for her. That was just something that we had going, and I share that a lot in my videos, and so that's what I just wanted to start this in honor of my mom. This is my not very far working of the Oh Joyous Day. So I am choosing to do Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. Have not gotten very far because, you know, Christmas decorating, working, and Thanksgiving dinner. But this is my next thing. So I did the Friends of the Heart. I worked on that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Loved it. And now I'm ready to switch over and do Oh Joyous Day. So that stitch along, again, I'm hosting hashtag Joy Nevertheless SAL. Anything that you want to stitch on that helps you remember to choose joy nevertheless. Some people are choosing to do a project in honor of usually it's a mom that has passed away, but join in anything that you want to do. And I would love to have you do that with me. So that's my project and how far I have gotten. The other things that I have to share with you are something new that I have been doing. So Kristy at Daisy K Primitives had a great demonstration on coffee dyeing. So go check that out. And I saw that and I thought, I really want to do that. I love her style. She just has a way of taking, I saw something on her Instagram. It was today. I saw it today, but whether she posted it the other day and I just saw it today. It was a cross stitch pattern that I see a lot of other people doing, and it just looks modern when the other people that I have seen doing it. And then she did it and it looked primitive, and it was like, girl, how do you do that? I just love it. So I love seeing how she does things, and she is doing the coffee dyeing. So I knew I needed time. I work on call, and so sometimes I can get something all going and then boom, I go to work and I leave this big mess all over the kitchen. So I did that, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, and I took hours and I made a big mess and I had fun and I did that. So that's what I wanted to share with you. So this is where I got the information from Kristy, Daisy K Primitives. Check out her video. Then Michelle at Mama Loves You GB has one on walnut dyeing, but a lot of the information that she shared, even though I have not done walnut crystals, I have not done that yet, but she was sharing some information that I used as I was doing my coffee and tea and a real coffee dyeing project. I just got to experiment. Then a new floss tuber, but a very, Jacob, I cannot say his last name, but he is Modern Folk Embroidery. He just did his first floss tube. And I'm amazed at what a prolific designer he is. And I know many people know him, but since I'm just back into cross stitching after 2 decades, I had not seen his work until just recently. He was talking about tea dyeing and how he does that to tea dye his linen. I did that years ago, decades ago. I would tea dye everything because I did woodwork and I made small wood dolls, and I would get inexpensive fabric and tea dye it to make it look more primitive. Oh, since I'm sharing that, hang tight for a second. This is, I've got stuff all over the place because I got Christmas decorations out, and I wasn't going to use this decoration, but I just wanted to show it because I have shared with you how I, during my life, I've been a designer. I was a woodworker. I sold in many harvest festivals, boutiques. I sold everywhere. And I designed and did woodwork, and I loved it. And I thought I would always do it until I retired. And it was very hard when the overseas market took over and handmade, American-made wood products were gone because the overseas market took over, and it was, you could buy stuff anywhere for just a couple bucks. So change of plans, and I retired from doing that and then moved on. But this was something that I made. So this was, I love elves. So this was something that I designed and made. This was the kind of style that I did. And again, this was back in the 90s. So just woodwork. This is little girl. Oops, there. You see how quick I had to sell stuff? You know, I just did it to cover it, to make it. So this was one of the girls that I did. So what I would do, they weren't all elves, of course. So it was just a regular girl that I would do. This is wool, real wool hair. But I would, these, I'm sure I tea dyed these, but I would just tea dye stuff. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Just something that I had that was me. And my goodness, I used to sell a lot. And I would go to people's homes here in Southern California, and I would look at something. I was like, oh my gosh, I made that. And then I would see, I think, gosh, I can't even remember the name of my business, Homespun Designs. So Homespun Delights, Homespun Delights. That's how long it's been. I started that business back in the 80s. But anyway, that was life then. This is life now. And all this is before me. So back on track with the tea dyeing. So what I learned from these 3 different people were things that I gathered and then I just played. So the first thing that I did was I made up the recipe that Kristy had, that she shared. She didn't make it up. She's just sharing information, and I see it on a lot of the pattern that I got, Country Rustic Primitives. This is Gobble. So this is my first guy. So I played around, and you can see as I was playing, I did it according to what Kristy was showing about, you know, adding more of the grungy coffee bits to the edges. This you can see as I was experimenting. This was the very first thing that I worked on. And so you can see it's lighter here, but as it gets cut into a pillow, it's going to be just fine, because I could have always done it again to make it so that doesn't show. But as I see how much is going to get cut to put in that pillow, I'm not worried about it. So that is my Gobble, and this was just the piece that I'm going to use for the back. So that was one, and that was with the recipe that is the water, the instant coffee, the vanilla. I use real vanilla, and boy, it has gotten expensive. So I ended up going and buying a bottle of imitation vanilla and using that. Now, you don't use that much, so I probably could have used the real vanilla. I don't know if that would be any different, but I'm a cheapskate, so I didn't want to use my real vanilla on something that I was just dyeing. But had a lot of fun. That was my first project. Boom, down on the floor it goes. Then This is my second project, and I am so proud of Kristy Green at Daisy K Primitives because she is selling cross-stitch patterns. So this one is Santa's mittens, and I saw it on her Instagram, and boom, I just went to her site. It was an instant download, and I purchased it. So I made this one, and you can see I did the same technique, but just not as much. So I was just playing around a little bit differently. But this is with that coffee dyeing recipe. And then I was playing around. I wanted to show you, I have a big stash of fabric. Most of the stuff that I have is smaller, and I want to do it more primitive looking. So I didn't want something modern on the back, and I wanted it to go. So this is a little bit more modern than I might have wanted, but I loved how the colors worked together. So I will probably use this as a backing, but this is what I do, is I audition. That's what we call it in the quilt world, and I'm sure that's not different here. These were 3 other fabrics that I had that I thought might look good. I love this one, and I love these 2. I love holly, and you can see these all have holly in them. So I was trying out each one to see what I might like. Would I like the red? Would I like the green? I really wanted this one to work out, but it just didn't pop as much as I wanted it to. So I think I'm going to settle on the black, but by the time I go to make it, I could also change my mind. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, in the chart, the Santa's is a little bit over to the side, so it didn't line up exactly right. And I think, and I was talking to Kristy about it, but if I was to do it again, I would just move over Santa's over here to the, what is that, the left or the right. But the one thing I did, this calls for a DMC, but I don't know if you can see, it has more texture. I used the Wisper thread. There you go. There you can see it. So I used the texture, and I love it how it did that. So what she said, it has the directions on the pattern. So get the pattern, stitch it up, and you'll love it. But this is the Wisper. So I have a couple different Whispers. I've used these in the past. I have the brown. I have that one's really fuzzy. That would be awesome for a little sheep, the face of a sheep. But I have the Wisper. It's the cream color. I've had these forever. But you can see it's wispy. So when I was doing it, there was one way that was pulling the threads backwards, and it made it kind of weird. And then I did it the other way, where I was actually working with the way that the thread was on there, and it stitched better. So it's just playing around with it and seeing. But I just thought that's the way I wanted to do it, and then that was fun. Okay, let's take a drink, girl. It is 20 minutes to 12 midnight here. Because I work on call, I was going to do this video earlier, and then I got a call, go to work, and came home, and it's late. So hopefully I can keep it together. I'm kind of a late night person anyway. So Kristy talks a lot about, Kristy is like my role model right now for doing primitive. And I'm sure she's not the only one that does it. She's the only one that I've been watching that's doing it. This is from Hobby Lobby, 32 count Belfast linen. It's just the Zweigart. So this is what it looks like. And then you dye it, and then it gets very fun. See, these were my notes. This was the directions that I had from a pattern. These are my notes. You can see there's different, there's my hands had tea or coffee on them as I was doing it. So just so I could tell what I was doing, because I just wanted to experiment. So I cut off a piece of this white. Now I'm going to toss that on the ground, and I played with it, and this is what happened. So I got something that I wanted. So usually you would do it after you stitch it, and you got to use the color fast. So DMC. I would not do it with my overdyes because they would run and make a mess. So you're doing this after you've stitched it, but I just wanted to see what it would be like to have a piece of linen that was dyed before I used it. So that's how that came up. But as I was doing it, I wanted to get the wrinkles out. So this is what I am just showing you my very first experiment in this millennium. Anyway, for a very long time. And it was wrinkled. And so I wanted to try to get it unwrinkled. So I was spraying it with a water bottle. And I got the wrinkles out. But what I also did was kind of moved some of the, because, you know, like if you spill coffee on something and then you go to wash it, the coffee moves within the cloth or the linen. And so I kind of moved stuff around and it got a little blotchy, but I thought it looked pretty cool. I was pretty happy with that. That was my first. There is my iron mark. Look at that. I left the iron on there while I went to go do something. That was not really smart, but there we go. Oh well. Okay, then I had some linen that I got from 123 Stitch, and I saw somebody else do this, so this was my idea. It looked really cool. This is, what is it? Vintage sugared, oh, I see, vintage sugared ginger linen. It looked beautiful on the 123 Stitches site. It looked like a really neat dark pumpkin-y color when I got it. Whoa, it could have been called like Orange Crush. It was way too bright. And so what are my notes that I did on this one? Coffee dye. Okay, so it was the coffee dye. So I did it 2 times, but look, this is what happened. Because I was trying to get all the wrinkles out, you can see the splotches. That it did not look like that before I did the spray bottles. So depending, what does the other side look like? Yep. So I don't know, depending on how I want that to look, how primitive I want that to look, I can change it. I can also rinse it and do it over again if I wanted to, but I ironed it, so it may be heat set, but I did not like the color when I got it. I probably would not have used it, and so this was just an experiment, and I could always dye it again and see what happens, but again, that was my experiment, and depending on how small the piece is, that could look really nice, but now it looks like a nice dark pumpkin color. Then I had fun. So I shared in a past video about all this Osnaberg that I have. It's just a really, it's not muslin. It's a thicker, more primitive looking linen. I had a boatload of this from my past vending life that I did. So I wanted to see what I could do with that because I want to do a project with it, and it's a bigger project and I'm going to need a lot. So when I was listening to Jacob from the Modern Folk Embroidery, he was saying that if you pre-wet the fabric and then you put it in the dye, it doesn't get so splotchy. So I had my curtain that I shared with in a past video. This was a curtain that I had in our trailer and then up at the cabin, and it looked like that same color. And I thought, well, what's going to happen if I tea dye it? So I pre-wet it and then I tea dyed it. And it's fun. You can see it's got some splotches in it, or molted. I don't know, whatever you call it, molted. That's what birds do. They molt. But yeah, you can see that. I like it. It's fun. I don't know what I will do with this, but whether it's the background for embroidery or if it's going to be for that quilt that I want to do. It's the wool applique from that pattern, the Santa, the turkey, the something in me. It was the hatched and patched that I shared in a past video, probably a quilting video. That was pre-wet, and then I thought, well, what would it look like if I just put it in dry? If I just put it in dry, the same, I basically steeped it for the same amount of time, maybe left it sitting in there a couple minutes, and then I wrung it out, and then I put it out on the back patio. It was a sunny day on the back patio. It dried some, and then I ironed it. So this, it's the darker version. So a little darker, and you can see, look at, that's because it was crinkled up. I scrunched it up and put it in, and I was really happy. This one I liked even better because it had more of that primitive look. It looks like the linens that you buy. So anyway, that was fun. So I had fun with that. So that's tea. Then I thought, what the heck? This is going to be fun. So then I just went in my room, because this is what I used to do, is I would get fabric and I wanted it darker, and so I would just tea dye it. So I had some fabric that I had purchased on sale. It was a little too light, and so I tea-dyed it. It didn't get it terribly dark, but it is a little bit darker. And I thought, well, this would be fun for a project bag. So that was what I did with some fabric. Then I kept grabbing fabric and dunking it in that tea. I had a big pot of tea. So I had some fabric. I inherited a lot of fabric from my mom, and she was very eclectic in the fabrics that she collected and used. And a lot of them had more of a white background. I'm not so much a white background. I like more tan, cream, even a butter yellow. So I took some fabric that had a white background and I tea-dyed it, and now I love it, which is good because there's a piece with several yards. So a project bag with embroidery is going to be in the works with this one. Then I had a fat quarter pack, or fat quarter bundle that I had got from Edita Sitar laundry basket quilts, and some of the backgrounds were lighter than I might want. So I left some, but I wanted to show you what it was. So this is the original. So this is what the fabric looks like, the light background. Then you can see this is the blue. So a little bit darker. This is the tea dyeing. So a little bit darker, that's one of them. And then I did a pink one. See, got a little bit darker. And then this one had umbrellas, and I wasn't very excited about it, and the umbrellas really showed up a lot. And so now that I have dyed it, and you can see a little bit darker, the umbrellas don't show up so much, but the neat pattern does. So that was just something fun. But of course, when you are doing coffee or tea, and if I have it, put it in a quilt, and then I go to wash it, of course that tea and that coffee could come out and it could lighten up in the wash. Then there's acid in there too. So if it was a quilt that I wanted to pass on to my great-great-grandkids or something, probably wouldn't do it. Is the world going to be around that long? I don't think so, the way things are going. So this would be for projects that aren't going to end up in a museum. So it's just fun. I've been having fun. Then I had shared this. This was fabric that I had for a future project bag, and it was a lot lighter, and now I love it more because it's darker. So that was the end of all my tea dyeing. And then I had it all over the back patio, and I was going to let it just dry in the sun. And then my husband said, I need to do some cleaning up in the yard and it's going to make a mess. And so I threw some of it in the dryer, and then I ironed it, and it will set that in a little bit better too. So that was my fun experience with coffee and tea dyeing. And then some of it I was drinking coffee at the time, and then I had some from the day before that was cold, because sometimes I like to just stick it in the fridge and I drink it cold. And I enjoy it, and I thought, what would this look like? So now I have all these mason jars. And I wrote on notes which one was the real coffee, which was the dyeing coffee recipe. But it was fun. So now I have mason jars, because I had a big thing of tea, because I had big chunks that I was going in there. Mason jars labeled with what they are so that I can pull them out and do them later. So that was fun. Now, if I look at my list, I am not very far down my list, and it's already a half hour. So let me move forward and show you something that was very special to me. So I had shared about, in a past video, about a used, of course, it's a Duchess hoop that I had purchased on Etsy. And see, this is the neat Duchess. So this is a 6-inch Duchess hoop that I had purchased. I was so excited when I saw it and I saw the price that I just ordered it, and I did not notice in the picture that it was broken. So I got it, and I was sharing in my disappointment, more myself, but I loved the hoop anyway, so I got it. One of my viewers, Rosa in Canada, saw that video, and the day before, she had gone to a thrift store, bought a Duchess hoop, And so she emailed me and said, I would love your address because I would love to send this to you. And I was like, oh my goodness. It was just so cool. And I said, oh, you should keep it. And she said she already had some. She sent it to me. So this is now my Canadian Duchess hoop. This is a 5-inch hoop. And it is so light and wonderful. It is not broken, and I have been using it. It is so cool because there's no hand crank. And even though, see, this is very loose, but when you put the linen in, it's perfect. And these are felt cushioned, and they're old, and that does not matter a bit. I think it's the glue is doing that. Does not matter a bit, and it even makes it, because obviously I love old wood stuff. So I have been using this, and in my work, I'm a notary, and in my work, I'm doing big packs of paper, anywhere from 100 to 200 pages, and I'm flipping through it and flipping through it, and so this part of my hand has been getting sore, and as I'm holding a heavy hoop, that can bother me after a couple hours. So this has been so light and lovely and marvelous to stitch on. And then knowing it was from Rosa. And so I've been emailing her back and forth, and it's just so fun, the friendships that you develop. But she was sharing with me about where she lives and what it's like where she lives. And I just said, oh my gosh, it just reminds me so much of like Beatrice Potter. And so I asked her, I said, oh my gosh, have you seen the movie? I love this movie, Miss Potter. Have Kleenex if you watch it. Tremendous movie. I have always loved Beatrice Potter. I have a lot of her books. Big story for me with Beatrice Potter. She has been a huge part of my life. And another time I will share about some neat stuff about me and Beatrice Potter. But anyway, amazing movie. And neat friendships. So just such a neat friendship now that I have with people in other parts of the world. I am not a traveler. And my sister and her husband, world travelers. And I tell her I would like to travel through her. I'm just seeing the pictures that she shares and her adventures and everything. But I don't want to travel. It's just too much work to do that. So I'm more of a go up to my cabin kind of girl. But now I get to have friendships with people in other parts of the world, learn about where they're living, what they're experiencing. And who would have thought before August, I knew nothing about FlossTube. Now I'm doing them, and now I have connections with people. And to me, I just love it. But she also sent me this pattern. So this is so fun. And I told her the story when I sent her an email. Okay, so this is a snow globe with a fun Santa in there, and it's applique, and she knew that I would like that because she's been watching my videos. So our first winter that we got the cabin was in January 1990. And we got it in January, and so right away it was snowing, and it was a big snow winter. So we were in our little tiny cabin, like it's like this big, 525 square feet. And we were looking out over the valley as the snow was falling. And here, in our home, we're like Southern California, Inland Empire, no snow. Well, once in a while. My garden doesn't like that. But we're watching the snow, and we're probably drinking our coffee. And it felt, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Our dream come true. Gorgeous little cabin, looking at the snow. And we both decided it was like we were inside of a snow globe, looking out and seeing the snow fall. I can still remember it. It was 30 years ago, and I could still remember it. So that's what that pattern just reminded me of. So that was very fun. Then after I was telling my husband how much I've been enjoying using this Duchess hoop, I said, let's just see if we can repair the one that I bought, because it's an inch bigger, and that might be fun to use because it's so nice and light. So we've been working on it. So we've been working on repairing that hoop with, I was going to use wood glue, but he wanted to use that instant glue. I don't know, whatever that stuff is. So he's been working on it, sanding it, clamping it, but it had a break. And so, but it's really tight now because it was not as small as it could be. So it's really tight, but I'm going to do just a very thin cotton material, a little wrap around it because I don't want this to catch any of the linen that I might be using, but it's just fun. What else did I get? When there was the Great Pumpkin Sal that Cynthia Brew on Stitching in the Light hosted, it was to raise money for a foundation, Freedom Shield Foundation, which rescues and restores people that are caught in the sex traffic trade. And a lot of us FlossTubers were promoting it, directing people to Cynthia Brew. It is a wonderful foundation. I will continue to support that foundation. We got entered into a raffle and I won something. So this is a project bag that I won. So that was my raffle win, and it is from Leslie Hurley, and she has an Etsy shop. And then beautiful, I love this. This was the card that came with it. This is from Proverbs 31, just a portion of it, and I've memorized almost that whole portion. She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. I need that very much. But anyway, that was so fun. What else? What else is before me that I want to share with you? Let's do this. I'm going to do another little giveaway. So up in the mountains, I met a new friend, a new quilting friend. They've lived there forever, but I met someone new, and she showed me her quilting room, and I got to see her quilts. And then she had had a quilt store in the past, and so she knew that I did embroidery, and she shared 2 embroidery patterns with me. And then I was thinking, I don't think that I am going to stitch these, but she did not want them, and I know that she would be happy to know that I am going to share these with somebody else who wants to do this. So this is going to end soon because these are Christmas embroidery patterns. So by the time this gets posted, actually it is midnight right now, so this will get posted December 2nd in the morning sometime. It's a very short time. This is going to promote people if they want to watch my videos. Watch them quick because there could be a giveaway. Midnight December 7th. This is going to end. So this is the pattern. So if you want to get a chance to win this, use the word visit, capital V, visit, and it has these 3 embroidery patterns in there. I checked and they are there. Aren't they sweet? So if you want to win that, just comment with the word visit. I will choose a winner by midnight December 7th. The other one is Santa Trio. And I checked and it has all these 3. So it has that one and these other 2 in there. So embroidery pattern. So that would be the word trio, midnight December 7th. Now, you need to be over 18 for right now because there's so many issues with international mail, United States only. And I need to see, well, anyway, we're just going to stick with that for right now. United States mail. What else? Don't use the word giveaway in your comments because other people just search for that and then they'll just want giveaway. So that's just it for right now. There we go. I will, so check back on December 8th. I will comment on your comment. If you won that, you need to get back to me in a couple days with your email. Otherwise, I'll want to go on and get that to somebody else because who knows, somebody might want to start it here in December. Then on my quilting number 7 video, we had 3 winners, and I have commented on their comment. But just in case you're watching this and haven't seen the comment, Marlene Dowes got Alice, Rebecca Sager got Party, and Barb Gibney got the tree skirt. So send me your email and I will get those on to you. What else do we want to share? What time is it? Okay, so on Thanksgiving, that night, after the kids were gone and I had done dishes, we don't have a dishwasher. I'm an old-fashioned kind of girl. So I did 4 loads of dishes, even though it was a pretty simple dinner. And I don't even know if I stitched that. No, I was so tired. Didn't even want to stitch that night. Just wanted to sit and watch a movie. So we ended up watching a movie, which was very fun, but it was not the Christmas one that I had, the Thanksgiving, I thought it was a Thanksgiving movie, and it was not. The reason I thought it was a Thanksgiving movie, because it's from, I remembered it from this book, Truman Capote, The Thanksgiving Visitor. I got this years ago when my kids were in school. I love this type of story, and I love this type of ink drawings. And this is such a good story. And I love the characters. I love Sook, and I love Buddy and Queenie. So this, if you can get a hold of that, that is great. So I had remembered, oh, I've got a Thanksgiving movie. So we watched the movie, and this was what we watched, A Christmas Memory. This is awesome. Patty Duke, and this is the kid from the Santa Claus. Marvelous. Marvelous acting, marvelous story, but it's the one that goes with this book that I have, A Christmas Memory. So it was so good, and I had forgotten I needed Kleenex. So there, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm crying. My husband, I usually don't like to cry with anybody in the room with me when I'm watching a movie. So I'm there wiping my eyes, and it's just at the end that there's some tears. And I didn't want to get up and get some Kleenex and ruin the moment. So I'm just like wiping my nose. It was, anyway, get some Kleenex. Excellent movie. Then, because I loved that one, then I saw this one. So it's One Christmas, Truman Capote, and it has Henry Winkler, Katharine Hepburn, and Swoosie Kurtz. Don't know who Swoosie Kurtz is. This is a very good story. Not a sappy, happy ending. Realistic ending. But very, very good movie. We are a family of Christmas movie watchers. So that one, well worth it. Now, this is one, and I had intended to watch it this weekend. We have not. This is another good one, and it's just sitting there waiting for me to watch. An Old-Fashioned Thanksgiving has Jacqueline Bisset. I don't even know who does this because I don't have my glasses on. But I can't remember this whole story, but I do remember it was very good. So for those of you that like videos, I have no idea if it's on Amazon Prime, Netflix, or whatever. I like DVDs because I like to watch them and watch them over and over. What else do I want to share? Because I'm going to end this soon, and I've got a bunch of stuff before me. Let's show you some more of my haul. I am slowing down on my haul because I've been going gangbusters, and then I decided it's time to stop and not spend so much money. But while I was still gathering, and again, I got back into cross-stitching after I had given a lot of stuff away. Not my DMC collection, but I had given a lot of stuff away, and so I've needed to collect some stuff. And when I started working on silks, I realized they are amazing. So this is my little, if you've seen my other videos about my floss organization, you see my big wheel of DMC and then overdyes. This is my little wheel of my little collection of silks. And here's something neat. The Thread Gatherer on their Etsy site has limited edition silks. They are less expensive. I think they're like $6.75 for a skein. And I picked up a couple. They're limited, so they're going to be gone. This one, Potter's Gold. That one's gorgeous. And then Goldbug. That's a neat kind of olivey greeny gold color. Bronze Age. That was another limited edition. This is my favorite. And I made another. I got 2 skeins at the time because it's like I cannot get enough green because I do like gardening things. So I bought 2 skeins at the time, and then I ordered 2 more because I thought if I share this, everyone's going to buy it, and then I'm going to be out. And again, they're just $6.75. So that one is Lumberjack Green. Awesome. Then Peanut Brittle. Look at that. That is a great pumpkin color. And then this I had from before, Latte Silk. I think I got that on Kitten Stitcher's site. Yes. And then I've got my Gloriana Hazelnut Dark. I thought that was hazelnut, and I didn't realize it was hazelnut dark. So a little different color than I expected. Then this was from Kitten Stitcher, Cypress Umber Silk. And Gloriana. I do a lot of crows and blackbirds, and so I'm really looking for some neat blacks. And that one has a little bit of brown in there. So that one I was happy with. Then I got Poison Apple to go with a project that I'll show you in a moment. And then this was on sale, Mahogany Wine. So those are some of my new silks, and I'm very pleased with silks. Some other things that I got that I've had for a little while, but because I want to do some finishes of those pillows, I have a lot of pillow tucks, pin keeps that I'm going to be making. So I'm gathering my little collection of finishing items. So I've got some of the chenille from Lady Dot Creates, and then this really neat, I know I could have dyed it, but I wanted it looking the way it is right here. So Lady Dot Creates, these are going to be some fun things. A little bit of the mini, what is that, mini pom-poms. Oh, this was really cool. This is Buster Brown's Lady Dot Creates. This was on Kitten Stitcher. Some of the lace. This was, it was a little bit different color than I expected. It's more of a teal. So that is fun. And then I have a lot from the time when I was gathering things from beading. I have a lot of fun ribbons that I have that I got on sale from when I was going to do this for a beading project. So that's just my little collection, so I can start. I have not done a fully finished item since I got back into cross stitch. I have finishes now, but I usually want to take a whole day where I'm not probably going to go to work, and I can just take a day and just finish things off. So that's what I want to do. Something else that I had purchased, this is Rachel Holmes Heartstrings samplers, and they call these band samplers. And at this moment in time, I'm not a big reproduction sampler gal yet, but soon I will be. But I really liked the design of that, the rhythm of that. So that is my purchase. And this one, La-Di-Da Emmanuel. I love the traditional Christmas hymns, Christmas carols, Christmas hymns. Oh come, Emmanuel. I can sing it in my head. Ransom captive Israel. I can't wait to do that one up. It looks very simple and very lovely. And then here's something fun. I'm getting ready for spring. I want to do something to get ready for spring. And so I know there is a whole set. This one's Hello Spring by Plum Street Samplers. And so this is the only one that I have purchased from the set so far. Oh, you can see I still got coffee. That was the thing about the coffee and tea dyeing. My nails are horrible looking. My cuticles were dyed for several days. And that is my poor thing when I was a woodworker. Ripped my nail off. Doing the wrong thing on a drill press. Do not push anything up into a drill press, especially when it's a big drill press, because it will rip your fingernail off. So that one is fun. Now, I was watching Christine at HollisHandsCreates, her FlossTube channel, episode number 20. She shared her winter, Hello Winter, and she did it on this really neat wood box full of winter silk, artificial Christmas greenery stuff. And then she was saying that she would probably switch it out and use different updated greenery things depending on the season. So check that one out and see. I really like that idea. Then I collected flosses because Carol, Saltbox Stitcher. So if I start into samples, it's going to be because of that girl. She showed her Christmas garden. I have been seeing Christmas gardens. She had the picture like right up like this, and she was showing it, and she had it sitting there like forever, and she was talking about it, and I just thought, I can't take it anymore. So I paused her and I bought it, and I got it because I got to do it. And I wanted to get the floss, and it takes a lot because there's only, it's just 4 colors of floss. But she was sharing that because Calico Kitty, even though this looks like a weird floss maybe, that called for color made it so gorgeous. And then I know different dye lots, so I thought if I get them all at once, probably going to have good dye lots. So there we go. And look at a floss ring. So I got a story coming. 50 minutes. We're going to end this at an hour, whether I'm done or not. Okay, so I got the home for the holidays, and I shared this on my last video. This is Christmas Garden. So amazing. Then when I was looking at it, I thought, oh, I love these colors too. Blessings Be Thine. I could see doing that one. And then the reason I got Poison Apple is for this one that I've seen a lot of people doing. So this is Poison Apple, and I wanted it to turn out just like that. So I did get Poison Apple. But I'm going to use the Lumberjack Green. I'm not going to do dark and light and gold. I'll probably use the Lumberjack Green, maybe for all 3. I don't know. Maybe I won't. But there we go. And because I keep seeing all you floss tubers with the charms and I got it. I'm going to do it. So I thought, well, if I'm going to do floss drops, I may as well just go all in. Here's somebody new that I've been watching. Kristy shared about, here we go. I'm looking at my notes. I was binge watching her. Lisa Abbey Needleworks. I was binge watching her floss tubes. She shared about how she learned from, it was before I got into FlossTube. She is already on Patreon now. Farm Girl Stitches or whatever. Michelle, Farm Girl something. Lisa had learned from Michelle how to do these charm things that everybody hangs on their floss drops. They are, and so she explained how to use that. So boom, I paused her and I went on Amazon and I got some. They are called cabochons. I had no idea even how to spell it. C-A-B-A-S-H-O-N. So you can just search those. I got 2 different sets. They are glass and they are the metal part. And then you use diamond glue. And then you put them together and you have fun. So I have been playing with those. So I got 2 sets. So I will be making charms. So thank you, Lisa. Got addicted now for that. Then, because I wanted to make my own tags for floss drops, I just went to Michael's and I didn't even know what size I needed, but I just got this sucker, making the tags. I had already had, you know, I got to watch these and see how y'all are doing these. But I had just some of this stuff that I had bought at Hobby Lobby, the papers. And I know they're probably not as thick as I should have, but I'm just trying it and I'm making some. But I got this big ginormous hole punch and it takes up too much of the room. So I'm not so happy with that. Then I bought this. This one, it stinks. I got this one at Michael's. It's going back. I don't like it. But it's a 1/4 inch. So I think that's going to work better with a 1/4 inch. Boom. So I have been playing with that. I've been having fun. Getting addicted. Man, I can see how FlossTube changes everybody's lives. And it's funny, like the things that I'm already doing them, and then I'm seeing from my commenters that they're pausing and getting the stuff too. So we're enabling each other with our floss addiction and stitching addiction. What else do I want to share with you before I stop? Because I have not gone through my whole entire pile, and I'm going to stop this at an hour. So I've got 5 more minutes. So the video that I'm going to do part 2, I am going to show you details about these different things. People have been asking about the quilt. That's one of my mom's bears. I'm going to show you more about that. And my mom, boom, bear maker. And I think she is actually in this magazine. So I've got to look through that and see if she is in there. But I'm going to show you more detail and what's going to get switched out with all these things, because these are going to get switched out. So that will be part 2. I will share more about the details of this bracelet. This is actually a 2-part bracelet. So this is part 1, and then tomorrow I will wear the part 2. But I will show you more details because this one was a very special one. And of course it has a story regarding Thanksgiving of last year. Other things to share with you. But we're going to do that tomorrow. So, let me look real quick at, actually we're at 55, so we're going to end now. So stay tuned for part 2 if you care to. For those of you, viewers that have stayed with me, gosh, I love it. I appreciate it. I love the comments. I'm a little bit backlogged on some of the comments just because I came off of my heavy schedule. But I treasure those. I read those, and that's what keeps me going. Sometimes after I do these videos, I think, why do I do this? My room is clean, and then it becomes this ginormous mess. And then I bought these softbox lights, and then I knocked one over, and then I used it once, and then had to replace a $20 light bulb. And I think, why am I doing these? Then I read the comments. That's why I'm doing these. A lot of us are, I am not isolated because of my work. A lot of people are isolated, and they are finding joy in my FlossTube and many others. And so it's just helping lighten the load of other people's lives. And I could be a little part of that, and it gives me great joy in doing that. The other thing that I share, because I am a believer in Jesus Christ, this is the other part that I share. So I close out with a little bit of what I've been learning, what God has been showing me. And my glasses are now dirty. So I wanted to read, there's a couple things. So I'm going to share more tomorrow in the part 2. But a lot of us are struggling with how the world is going right now, and then what's going on in the United States with election and stuff like that. So it's just been kind of a challenge. And I was thinking, Thanksgiving, I don't feel very grateful. This got my attitude going right. So this is Billy Graham, Hope for Each Day. This was November 24th, the right attitude. And this is 1 Chronicles 29:13. Now our God, we give you thanks and praise your glorious name. The Pilgrim Fathers who landed at Plymouth to settle in what became the United States of America can teach us an important lesson about giving thanks. During that first long winter, 7 times as many graves were made for the dead as homes were made for the living. Seed imported from England failed to grow, and a ship that was to bring food and relief brought instead 35 more mouths to feed, but no provisions. Some pilgrims caught fish and others hunted wild fowl and deer. They had a little English flour and some Indian corn. Yet William Brewster, rising from a scanty dinner of clams and water, gave thanks to God for the abundance of the sea and the treasure hid in the sand. According to today's standards, the pilgrims had almost nothing, but they possessed a profound and heartfelt gratitude for God for his love and mercy. Gratitude is one of the greatest Christian virtues. Ingratitude, one of the most vicious sins. Our English words, thank and think, come from the same word. If we'll stop to think, we'll be more thankful. So, got more to share with you tomorrow at the close of that video. But it's like that choice. It's the choice to choose gratitude. It's the choice to look at what we have. It's the choice, as Kristy Green on Daisy K Primitive shared, it's where she was talking about counting your blessings, looking at what we have. If we always look at what we don't have, we're never going to be satisfied. But if we look at what we have, what we're grateful for, the freedoms that we have right now, we can be grateful and we can be thankful and we can be blessed because of that. So that's one thing that I chose to do, is just choosing gratitude, choosing Thanksgiving. And I was just so blessed that both of my sons were able to come over. We had conflicts with work, so my daughter-in-law was working and wasn't able to come over, but I'm going to get to see her next week. I miss her. I haven't seen her for weeks. And I'm grateful that I live close to them, even though my dad in Colorado was not able to be with him. So There you go, guys. Thank you so much. Pray that God blesses you, and I just pray that you choose joy nevertheless and choose to give thanks nevertheless. And now I am saying I hope you have a very Merry Christmas nevertheless. Thank you, guys, and God bless you.